This is Sri Lanka. Welcome to Opentiera. Did you know that Sri Lanka, once known as Ceylon, is the birthplace of the world-renowned Ceylon tea? In this breathtaking setting, ancient temples stand tall, holding stories that have transcended generations. But here's a captivating nugget. Hidden amidst Sri Lanka's stunning terrain lies the legendary Sri Maha Bodhiya tree, a living relic over 2,300 years old, believed to be the oldest historically documented tree globally. Join us till the end as we explore this island's treasures and uncover the mysteries held within its ancient roots. Sri Lanka is a colorful island nation located in the Indian Ocean, just southeast of India. Its geography features stunning natural landmarks, from sandy beaches to towering mountains and lush green tea plantations. First, Sri Lanka is a relatively small island, covering about 66,000 square kilometers, making it similar in size to Ireland or West Virginia. However, the island packs incredible diversity into this limited land area. Sri Lanka sits off the southeastern tip of India, separated by the narrow Palk Strait, which is only about 30 miles wide. This proximity to India has shaped much of the country's culture and history. Some of Sri Lanka's most prominent cities include the commercial capital and largest city, Colombo, with its bustling ports and high-rises, Kandy, the cultural capital nestled amidst mountains, and Gala, the old fort city on the southern coast, with European colonial architecture. At the heart of the island are the Central Highlands, featuring mountains like Pidiru-Talagala, the tallest peak at 8,291 feet. Tea plantations carpet the highland valleys. Important natural sites include Horton Plains National Park with its lush forests and great trekking. The lowland plains surround the highlands, gently rising to sandy beaches that ring the perimeter, offering some of Asia's most pristine coastlines. Major attractions include the golden beaches of Unawatuna, surf breaks at Arugam Bay, and wildlife reserves like Yala National Park, teeming with leopards and elephants. From sandy beaches to mountain highlands, Sri Lanka crams diverse natural beauty and vibrant culture into a small island country. With ancient cities, tea plantations, national parks, surf breaks and more, it's easy to see why Sri Lanka has become such a popular tourist destination. Sri Lanka has a long and vibrant history spanning over 2,500 years. The island nation has seen the rise and fall of ancient kingdoms, colonial rule, and independence. Today we'll be exploring some of the major events and people that have shaped Sri Lanka's rich history and culture. Some of the earliest known human settlements date back 125,000 years ago to the Stone Age. But the first major Sinhalese kingdom emerged around 543 BC, led by Prince Vijaya, who arrived from India. He became king of the island nation and established the kingdom of Tambapani near present-day Mannar. Other notable ancient kingdoms include the Anuradhapura kingdom, which ruled for over 1,000 years, starting around 377 BC. This kingdom helped spread Buddhism and constructed elaborate irrigation systems, temples, dagobas, and palaces, many of which stand today as UNESCO World Heritage Sites. The Polonnaruwa Kingdom, arising in the 11th century AD, built upon existing infrastructure and saw a golden age under King Parakramabahu, who repelled invasions from southern India. This period saw advancements in literature, architecture, arts, and religion. The Portuguese first established control in Sri Lanka in 1505, primarily around coastal areas, which kicked off over 300 years of European colonial rule. The Dutch and the British later contested control over Sri Lanka, with Britain ultimately gaining control of the full island in 1815. The British colonial era saw the rise of tea, coffee and rubber plantations, primarily using Tamil labourers from southern India brought to work on the estates. This period also saw advancements in roads, railways and English education, while local culture and identities were suppressed. Sri Lanka finally gained independence from Britain in 1948. But tensions between the majority Sinhalese and minority Tamils escalated into a 25-year civil war starting in 1983, led by the Tamil Tigers militant group. Finally, in May 2009, the government defeated the Tamil Tigers, restoring order, but over 100,000 lives had been lost in the conflict. Sri Lanka has seen the rise and fall of ancient kingdoms, eras of prosperity as well as intense conflicts. From early Buddhist kingdoms to European colonizers to independence and civil war, Sri Lanka's history has shaped the diverse, resilient nation it is today. Let me know in the comments what else you'd be interested in learning about Sri Lankan history. As of 2022, the World Bank estimates that Sri Lanka has a population of roughly 22 million people. For its size, it is one of the most densely populated countries in the world, with over 800 people per square mile on average. The largest city, Colombo, is estimated to have over 700,000 residents. The majority of Sri Lankans are Sinhalese, accounting for about 75% of the population. They descended from migrants arriving from North India many centuries ago. Another significant group are Sri Lankan Tamils at about 11%, concentrated in the north and east parts of the country. Additionally, about 9% of the population are Sri Lankan Moor, who trace their ancestry to Arab traders that came to the island. There are also Indian Tamil minorities and other smaller ethnicities. Almost all Sri Lankan Sinhalese practice Buddhism, which accounts for over 70% of the population. Another 13% are Hindu, practiced primarily by Tamils. About 10% identify as Muslims, largely the Sri Lankan Moor community. Christianity makes up the remaining 7%, including both Catholics and Protestants. The majority Sinhala language is spoken by over 80% of the population as their first language. Tamil dialect is also prominent and spoken widely by about 15%. English is commonly used in government and commerce as well, a lingering influence of the British colonial era. Sri Lanka has a relatively small, open economy, with the World Bank valuing its GDP at around $89 billion as of 2023, focused largely on exports like tea and tourism, along with expanding manufacturing and service industries. Though it graduated to an upper-middle-income nation in 2019, economic instability has provided setbacks. Sri Lanka shifted from an agriculture-dominated economy in the mid-20th century to eventually adopt a more socialist, state-controlled model in the decades after independence. This led to slow growth and high debt. Market liberalization starting in 1977 opened trade policies attracting more private investment. Today, the economy depends heavily on exports of goods like tea, spices, gems, and coconut products, along with an expanding apparel and textile manufacturing sector. Tourism has also risen rapidly over recent decades to become one of Sri Lanka's top foreign revenue generators. However, heavy foreign debt obligations, monsoons disrupting agriculture, infrastructure gaps and periodic domestic terror attacks have impacted economic stability recently. The pandemic dealt a further shock with declines in tourism and remittances. In 2022, financial reserves dried up, unable to pay for critical imports. Shortages of essentials like food, fuel and medicines. Prices and inflation soared. As the currency collapsed, credit downgrades locked the country out of financial markets. widespread protests erupted against the government's failure to address the dire situation. In July 2022, after months of unrest, President Gotabaya Rajapaksa was forced to flee the country and resign after demonstrators stormed government buildings. Ranil Wickremesinghe became acting president, inheriting an economy in tatters. The new government secured a preliminary IMF bailout to restructure debt and regain investor confidence needed to access more funding and aid. For now, Sri Lankans continue to endure profound hardship, with poverty rising, rationing persisting, and frequent blackouts hampering recovery. The road forward remains filled with challenges, necessitating accountable reforms and compassionate leadership. Known as the Pearl of the Indian Ocean, Sri Lanka is blessed with spectacular natural beauty, ancient cities, rich culture, and some of Asia's best beaches. From surf breaks to tea plantations to wildlife safaris, this island nation offers incredible experiences for travelers. Here are the top 10 can't-miss attractions on the recommendation of the Sri Lanka Tourism Development Authority. Our first stop is Sigiriya Rock, an imposing 600-foot-tall granite rock formation with cliff sides covered in colorful frescoes dating back over 1,500 years, depicting ancient royalty and laden with history. The summit offers sweeping views, and the ruins of an ancient palace complex at the top make this an iconic site. The UNESCO World Heritage Site of Galle Fort transports visitors back in time to when Sri Lanka was colonized by the Portuguese and Dutch from the 16th to 19th century. Wander the cobblestone streets and admire the well-preserved colonial-era architecture. For wildlife lovers, Bundala National Park protects landscapes that draw diverse birdlife and herds of wild Asian elephants. Safaris allow visitors to get up close with elephants roaming free. This is also the perfect place for bird enthusiasts, since Bundala houses 197 different species of birds. The quaint mountain town of Ella offers cafes, boutiques and guest houses, perfect for unwinding after adventures like hiking up breathtaking Ella Rock with its views high above tea plantations. Nearby, the iconic Nine-Arch Bridge train bridge is also a must-see. Palm-lined white sands and a protected bay dotted with sea turtles makes Unawatuna Beach one of Sri Lanka's most scenic and pristine. The laid-back beach town vibe offers the perfect spot to dine on fresh seafood, unwind, or even try surfing. Polonnaruwa served as capital of the Kingdom of Polonnaruwa from roughly 1070 to 1300 AD, and the ancient city ruins provide a window into this medieval society. Explore incredibly preserved Hindu and Buddhist temples, palaces, and enormous Buddha statues carved into granite cliff faces. Yala National Park hosts the highest leopard density in the world, making wildlife safaris here prime for spotting these elusive big cats, along with sloth bears, elephants, buffalo, and over 215 bird species. Nicknamed Little England, the cool hill station of Nuwara Eliya features Victorian architecture, manicured golf courses, and miles of tea estates that unfurl picturesque vistas. Don't miss scenic boat rides on Gregory Lake. As the first kingdom and capital of Sri Lanka, dating back to 377 BC, Anuradhapura Ancient City is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, boasting well-preserved ruins of elaborate irrigation systems, temples, statues, and the leafy Sri Maha Bodhiya sacred fig tree. Known for its laid-back surfer vibe, the fishing village and sweeping bay of Arugam Bay along the east coast draws adventure seekers for its surf breaks, sea kayaking through mangroves, and elephants roaming wild beaches. Sri Lankan culture is a rich blend of varied influences over 2 millennia from nearby lands. including the early Aryans, Tamils, Arab traders, and European colonizers, who fused to form a vibrant identity. Buddhism, brought by the early Aryans, remains the dominant religion, shaping practices from meditation to non-violence. Festivals like the spectacular July-August Esala Perahera honor relics with dances and elephant parades. The April New Year brings tossed water and firecrackers, marking the occasion. From ancient cave art to intricate masks to the modern Lotus Tower, the arts reflect Sri Lanka's diverse eras. Epic irrigation systems watered ancient cities with stunning architecture. Hilltown architecture shows British colonial styles, while southern coastal fort cities reveal Portuguese and Dutch influences. Sri Lanka has produced many literary icons, like author Martin Wickramasinghe, driving cultural renaissance by blending folklore into modern narratives. The country also boasts skilled painters like George Keat, who pioneered modernist styles by incorporating cubism and abstraction in depicting traditional themes. Sri Lankan culture's colonial legacy, tropical landscapes, and artistic talents blend to create a vibrant island mosaic built up over the nation's storied history. The resilience of traditions, with ability to absorb new influences, points to a thriving culture going forward. Sri Lanka has an eclectic culinary tradition, blending Indian, Dutch, Portuguese and Arabic influences into delicious curries, rice dishes, and unique ingredients over its trading history. We'll explore iconic foods and beverages that make Sri Lankan cuisine vibrant, flavorful, and perfect for foodies to indulge in. Hoppers. Crispy, edged pancake-like hoppers are a Sri Lankan staple made from a fermented rice and coconut batter. They come in both savory and sweet varieties, often served as part of a breakfast spread. Kotu roti. This specialty hails from street food carts where flatbread roti is stir-fried with a medley of spices, vegetables like onions and cabbage, eggs or meat into flavor-packed, carb-heavy goodness. Lampreys, a Dutch burger-influenced bake. Lampreys combines rice, boiled in stock with frikadelles meatballs, a Malay-style curry, chili sambal, and crisp papadum, all wrapped and baked in fragrant banana leaves. Pol sambal. This popular condiment served atop dishes features freshly grated coconut blended with chili peppers, diced onion, lime juice and spices for a kick of complex flavor contrast. Wambatu moju. For those with an adventurous palate, this sour and spicy pickle relish is made from sliced fruits or vegetables left to ferment with saline water in earthen pots, giving intense salty, sour and spicy tang. But wait, here's a fun-filled pit stop on our Sri Lankan journey, diving into some intriguing tidbits that make this island nation even more mesmerizing. The Sri Maha Bodhiya tree in Anuradhapura isn't just any tree. It's over 2,300 years old and believed to be the oldest historically documented tree in existence and is revered as the Tree of Enlightenment. Mauritius's coastal waters host one of the planet's largest gatherings of blue whales. With over 26 species of cetaceans, including the magnificent sperm whales, it's a marine paradise for whale enthusiasts. The aroma of Ceylon tea. Sri Lanka, known formerly as Ceylon, produces over 300 million kilograms of tea annually, delighting taste buds worldwide. If you enjoyed this video on Sri Lanka, you'll love this next one.